Welcome to Course 1, Sewing 101. In this course, you will learn about the tools you will need to construct a flawless wig. Also, you will be learning how to set up your sewing machine. So let's get started. You will need some black thread. I recommend that you use 100% polyester thread because it is less likely to pop. It is thicker than your average thread, and it will last a lot longer. Scissors or snippers. These are the best snippers to use to construct your flawless wig. They are very lightweight and sharp. They make it very easier to cut the weft, and it gives you a very clean cut. A seam ripper. A lot of people think a seam ripper is not important, but a seam ripper makes it easy to remove your stitches because mistakes do happen. T-pins. T-pins are good for securing your flawless wig down. You will also need a curved needle. A curved needle is a needle shaped like a C. You will need a curved needle for sewing down your closure or your frontal. Measuring tape. Measuring tape is used for transferring your customer head measurement to your canvas head. It doesn't have to be nothing fancy, just a basic measuring tape. Metallic markers. You will need metallic markers to draw your guidelines. They come in silver, gold, blue, and purple. You can use what's best for you. Dome caps. You can use a mesh dome cap or you can use a regular dome cap. They work the same, just one is more breathable. You can use what's best for you or what's best for your customer. Bobbins. Bobbins are what store your thread. You will need a few of these. They come in plastic or metal. You can pre-thread these to make sure you don't run out of thread while constructing your flawless unit. I highly recommend that you invest in this open toe presser foot. It holds your weft flat as it feeds through the machine while giving you a clear view of the stitching area. A canvas head. You will need all sizes, 20, 21, 22, and 23 for all size heads, from extra small to large. These are the tools that you will need to construct your flawless wig. Getting to know your sewing machine. We will now learn all the different parts of your sewing machine. We are using a Singer Simple, which is very beginner friendly. So let's get started. First, we have our hand wheel, which controls your needle. Turn to the front, it brings your needle down. Turn to the back, it brings your needle up. Next, we have our bobbin winder. It winds your bobbin. Beside it, we have a bobbin stopper. This is what stops your bobbin once it gets full. This is our spool pin. This is what holds your thread. This is your stitch length dial. It controls how long or how short you want your lengths. Next, we have our stitch selector. where you can select what type of stitch you want to use. For constructing a wig, we will use a zigzag stitch, and occasionally you will use a straight stitch. On the side is where you have your power switch. You can turn it on or off. This is your tension dial. It controls how tight or how loose you want your stitch. Next, we have our bobbin tension dial. It guides your thread to your bobbin so you won't have any tangles. This is your thread guide. Just basically follow the diagram. Right here is where you have your take-up lever, which is controlled by your hand wheel. This is how you unlock your needle. And then you have your needle right below it. And right underneath your needle, you have your presser foot. And underneath your presser foot, you have your bobbin housing. It's where you store your bobbin. You can remove the top, and then you will place your bobbin down inside. On the back here, you have your presser foot lever. I'm going to turn it around so you can get a better look. Just move it up or down, and it controls your presser foot. Back stitching. This is where you will back stitch. You will push it down, then release. This is your foot pedal. This is what controls your machine. The harder you push it, the faster it will go. You have now finished this section of getting to know your sewing machine. Threading your bobbin in your sewing machine. First, we are going to thread your bobbin. You will take your thread and place it on your spool pin. Follow your guide and bring it around your bobbin tension dial. Get your bobbin and thread it through the hole. And then place it on the bobbin winder. Make sure your thread did not come loose. If this happened, just rethread it. Once you have it threaded, push your bobbin winder to lock it, then press your foot pedal to begin winding your bobbin. Once your bobbin is full, the bobbin stopper will stop your bobbin. Once your bobbin has stopped, you will unlock your bobbin and cut the thread. Sit your bobbin to the side, and now we're going to thread your machine. So you would take your thread, unwrap it from around your bobbin tension down, and follow the guide to threading your machine. You will continue to follow your guide by bringing your thread down to thread your needle. Once you have your needle threaded, it's a small hook that sits right above your needle. Hook your thread to that. That will hold your thread in place. Now you just pull your thread to the back out of the way. Now you would take your bobbin, remove the lid, and on the lid is a diagram of the correct way to place your bobbin in the bobbin housing. Follow that diagram. Place your lid back on, then use your hand wheel to turn your needle up and down until your bobbin and thread has connected. As you see here, it did not catch, so continue to turn your hand wheel. You will see a small knot. Just pull, then cut the thread. And now you are ready to sew. And now we are ready to set up our machine. When constructing a flawless wig, we only use two stitching, which is zigzag and a straight stitch. As you see here, I have my zigzag stitching marked. Also, I have my straight stitching marked. So you will set your stitching at zigzag. Your length determines how long you want your stitch. You can go from 1 to 4. I normally use 3 or 4. Just determines on what you prefer. So I have it set for 3. Tension is for how tight you want your stitch. I normally use 4, but you can use what's best for you. And it goes between 1 and 9. Also, don't forget, back stitching will be your best friend. You will have to back stitch each weft at the beginning and the end. Once you have your machine set up, you want to check your stitch. So you would take some paper and begin to sew. Always cut your loose thread. And if you like what you see, you have successfully set up your machine. If not, you want to play around with your lengths and your tension. Just adjust your machine to what length and tension you prefer and begin to sew. As you see here, there's a slight difference between the two. Your bottom row is tighter and the length is shorter. Your top row is looser and your length is longer. So like I said before, you can just play around with your length and your tension. I prefer to use 3 inches with the length and 4 with the tension. But you can use what's best for you. You have now completed Course 1, Sewing 101.